Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Cute Tattooed Girl PhD, always welcoming all new subscribers, always loving your comments, your likes, and your dislikes on the channel as well. I'm always appreciative for feedback, and if you guys got any, please put it in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video and to my channel. So we talked about yesterday, I talked about in Spanish, but today we're going to talk about it in English. We talked about the word victim and victimology. What does it mean? How does it affect us and on everyday life? If we are a victim of any type of abuse. It could be mental abuse, physical abuse, it could be monetary abuse, emotional abuse, a person that does harm to another person, considered abuse, right? So we talked about that a little bit in Spanish. I wanted to be bilingual, so we're going to do some of these things in Spanish, and we're going to do some of these reels or YouTube things in English. So today I decided to go in English, and the reason why is because I'm a little upset. And why am I upset? As I've talked to you in previous videos, my daughter was essayed by a corporation, Autism Learning Partners. I'm talking to you. I will continue to talk to you until I cannot speak no more. And you can't shut me down and you can't shut me up. So my daughter was essayed by one of their employees, and my daughter wasn't given justice. And to this day, she has not given justice, even though there's video proof. There is talks amongst me and Autism Learning Partners taking responsibility for this. Yet nothing was done. Justice was never served. Now, I wasn't looking for a payout. We didn't want a dime or a penny. What we wanted was for my daughter to get the appropriate counseling and the appropriate therapy for her to be able to handle the trauma in her life, potentially, that can affect her down the road, which did end up affecting her down the road. So we've been struggling with her for 3 years after the incident happened, yet not one person reached out to me as a mom when I begged. And I went up against not only one juggernaut, which is Autism Learning Partners, but the person responsible was the daughter of a police officer from our city. Now, was I afraid to speak up? No. One thing about me is when a victim, and my daughter was a victim, she was unable to speak her mind, but I was her voice. One thing about me is I ain't afraid who I'm going up against. I don't care how powerful you are. I don't care how you can influence others. To me, it's a matter of justice. So when I talk about victimology and who you're a victim, I expect the victim, and I know sometimes we're scared to talk. And I understand that. As a therapist, I could tell you that. We're sometimes afraid. We're like, oh my gosh, what if, because sometimes, Stockholm syndrome, right? The domestic violence thing where the person being either the male or the female is being DV'd, right? There's DV in the relationship. They go back because there's a bond, because there's love, or maybe there's children, so they go back because they don't want their children involved or hurt. Or maybe, there's people that like to say, well, if you leave me, I'm going to do this to you and I'm going to do that to you. The issue with that is nothing changes. If you stay in the relationship, it can be worse, as we've seen in many TikToks and many YouTubes, and a lot of the social media thing is people are actually committing crimes on these platforms where they're actually doing what they said they were going to do in front of cameras to become viral. Now, was it worth the wait without talking? Okay, that's the question. You should have talked, you would have been alive. Many people that have been in a situation that has DV or is essayed or are APED or whatever, end up passing away because they didn't speak up. That's the concern of this video. So, as you know, there is a lot of talk in the professional community, a lot of talk, and there is a lot of talk swaying different ways. I'm so new to this platform and new to my expertise. My expertise is mental health. I feel that sometimes if we don't learn how to speak up, we're never heard. And I think that's one of the things we don't know how to express, especially when we're a neurodivergent child who cannot and is not verbal and is not able to tell you. I think what angers me the most, and this is something that's personal to me, when somebody is a victim of circumstance, of any type of awful thing another person, a predator, can do to you, because the woman that attacked my daughter was a predator. And nothing was done about it because either she was protected by the police department, she was protected by Autism Learning Partners because nobody wanted this to blow up. I called the news media. I called the police department. I called CPS. I called the school. I called the district. I called CPS. I called the regional center. I called everybody even lawyers, like, hey, can somebody help me? My daughter needs help. Here's the video proof. Here is the interactions between me and autism learning partners taking responsibility. Here's the text messages, yet nobody stepped up because my daughter wasn't high profile. And that's my anger today. Why is it that we're so super focused as humans, as human beings, right? And this is, I'm talking to everybody on this platform, on YouTube. Why are you so super focused on people you don't even know personally, right? You don't even know them. Coming out 23 years later, saying that they were SA'd, they were RAPED, and to get some monetary compensation. Yet you guys don't stick up for little kids that can't talk. I want that question answered. I want that to stick in your head tonight before you go to bed, before you go to sleep. And this video is in respect and honor of those children that are neurodivergent, that have been victims, and I'm talking about because they can't speak for themselves, that have never been heard and have to live with this for the rest of their lives because they're not able to communicate it through counseling, through therapies. They just can't do it. It's not because they didn't want to. It wasn't because they were scared. They lived under a rock for 20 years. None of that. Simply because they couldn't speak. So tonight, I want you, my audience, whom I love, and I am so grateful that you guys are here, to think tonight. We give so much credit in the media to people coming out because, oh, there were victims of DV. Oh, there were victims of RAPD. Oh, they were SA'd. Oh, poor them. No. Not poor them, because they had voices. Scared or not, you could have moved. There are special programs where you can move and ever know where you went to. Did you guys know that? There's programs that'll move you. Believe me, I've been through these kind of programs where they'll move you to set you away from a predator or for somebody who assaults you. And so to say to you were too scared, to me, it's almost like a fumble to me, because as a mother of a person who is and was a victim and continues to be, because she's still struggling today, my daughter is going to be 17 years old. Nobody stuck up for her. Nobody called the media and made it a big deal. Nobody got the most high profile attorney and said, hey, you know what? This is a corporation. Autism Learning Partners is a corporation. They're all over the United States. Huge. But all they did was sweep it under the rug and pretend it never happened, and we were going to go away. They thought I was going to go away. I ain't going nowhere until my daughter gets justice. And I wanted a lawyer to reach out to me to say, hey, I've seen your video. I came across it. And I hope one day a lawyer does come across the video and says, hey, you know, I can help you to get the therapy that little girl needs. Or I can go after Autism Learning Partners and get them off the map, which is what I wanted. I wanted repercussions for that. I wanted consequences for that. Never got them. So it angers me at this point as a mother to see all these people being praised for coming out because they were SA'd and whatever. And for sure, come out and save your peace. But why'd you wait 23 plus years? Why didn't you do it at the time that it happened? Get an RAPE kit done. And instead of waiting it to go into the media, waiting for all this hype, and then you get monetary compensation out of it. That's what it's about. It's monetary compensation. Bottom line. In my case, for our daughter, that's not what we wanted. That was the first thing I said to Autism Learning Partners. We're not looking for a penny. We're looking for you guys to first fire that woman. Secondly, how are we going to fix the situation? Because my daughter was hurt. And thirdly, how are we going to be okay as a family having to deal with this? Because this is a family thing. So that's the video is just anger. I think it's just built up anger. And the way I've been coping with it, again, I had to take therapy for 2 years, continue to take therapy. Because I still can't forgive myself for what happened. You can't. As a parent, you think to yourself, what did I do wrong? How was I not aware of it? Because I trusted a professional. This was a professional. This wasn't a friend that I sent my daughter to, and there was a party and something happened, etc. This was a professional who worked for an organization, Autism Learning Partners, specifically talking to you. You sent in a predator to come into my home and essay my daughter. Assault my daughter. That's what you did. So at the end of this video, you guys, I want you to think tonight and pray for those neurodivergent kids, adults, who have been essayed, really, and can't talk. Not because they're scared or because they hide under rocks or it would be too much for them, but because they can't. You can be an advocate all day long, and that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. Make sure that my daughter gets her justice, and that's what I want. I'm never going to stop until my daughter gets justice. And she is not a high profile anything. She didn't attend a party and get essayed. No. She was at home doing therapy in her room by a professional. Autism Learning Partners. Read that name. Look it up there. Make sure you look up your reviews. And if you guys are in this company, drop the company. Go find another company. You're going to get some good people that are going to come in, and you're going to get some weirdos that are going to come in. Careful with that. Like I said, I had many weirdos come into my home that I had to let go because they were weird. One of them, they said it was a witch. That's the therapist that they're hiring. They're hiring anybody off the street. That's what they're hiring. So a lot of those I'm against. One of the supervisors there, which I hope she's still there, and I hope she comes across my video one day, and you know who you are. You had a kid. I fed you for your entire pregnancy. I let you use my room to pump your milk when you were here in my home. Let you call home whenever you needed to. Gave you all the perks of being a new mom. And as soon as you knew that my daughter was assaulted, you ran away. Like a coward you are. And you know who you are. You know who you are. And yeah, I hate you for that. Because you ran. Instead of being here to protect my children, and you knew them. And you knew what the company offered you what? They stepped you up. That's what they did, right? And her letter is M, and she knows what I'm talking about. I hope you run across my video. I hope your kid's doing well. And I hope nothing ever happens to your kid like it happened to mine. Because you knew what was happening. You knew the day it happened when the cops got here. And you were so scared, you and your supervisor, and you know who that is, bald guy, from Autism Learning Partners. You guys knew exactly what was going to happen. So you guys both ran like cowards, like rats out of sewers. I'm so angry with this company. They got offered higher positions. So they ran. I ended up with a whole new team. It wasn't them who assaulted my daughter, but they were aware of it. And they knew. So that's the video for tonight. Watch out for predators. Yes, but speak up in time to get the help that is required. And get yourself an advocate. Get yourself somebody to help you. And you know what? Don't ever stop seeking justice for your child. I called the news media. I called 26. I called Channel 30. I called ABC. I called every single... Nobody paid attention. Nobody cared. And you know why? Because my child couldn't talk. But I can. And that's what I'm here. And I'm never going to stop. Ever. Until she gets justice. And this goes directly to you, Autism Learning Partners. This isn't a high-profile case. But you owe my daughter a lot more than what you're thinking. You owe her that. You owe me an apology. You owe her father an apology. You owe her sisters and her brother an apology. For the disgusting things you were doing here in my home without us even thinking. You're professionals. You're therapists. You work for the state. And you were doing disgusting predator things? That's what you guys are, predators. Predators of little ones who can't speak for themselves. So I hope this video gets across to you. Because I want it to get to you. Victimology. Victims, non-victims. I talked about my daughter the very next day it happened. Wasn't scared of no cop. Wasn't scared of nothing. I could have gone up against the whole entire police department. And I would have said my piece. Put that video on that television and saying, you tell me what this is. When I told the officer, I'm like, would you appreciate it if I spit on your daughter? Would that be okay? He said, that's assault. What's the difference? What happened with my daughter? That woman put that mask in her crotch and then put it on my daughter's face. What do you consider that? Not assault? What is that? Rainbows and butterflies? What was that? Anyway, it just angers me that we can pick and choose justice. Justice is supposed to be blind. We don't pick and choose who are victims and who gets help. Everything's supposed to be equal, right? We're in a country that's supposed to advocate for those who can't advocate for themselves, right? This wasn't high profile, so it didn't matter. But it does matter because my daughter does matter. And I want justice for my daughter. So justice for Savannah. Justice for every single neurodivergent student who has not had justice, has that a lot worse things have happened to them in those homes that they put them in therapies that they put them in, and parents just drop them off. We don't know what's going on in their facilities. They tell us what they want. They give us some plain piece of paper and it says, oh, she did this, this, and this, and what else? So my quote for the end of the day, or what I'm going to opinionate at the end of the day is, speak up. Let me hear you. Let me understand what you're going through so we can go through it together. I tried to reach out to Autism Speaks Oregon. It didn't. They didn't care. It's a foundation. Nobody cared. But I care. Enough to come onto and make a platform on YouTube and speak about it. So, with that being said, I want you guys to always love your kids. Respect the law, of course. Make sure you look out for any signs that you see in your children as they grow and change. If there's any signs that you're seeing that are not acceptable, and report them. Don't live under a rock. Say it as soon as it happens so you can take immediate action, even if you have to do it on your own. And always know that your kid matters. Your adult matters. Neurodivergent or not, we matter. Even though we're not high profile. We matter. So, I appreciate you guys' time. I'm sorry if I come off a little strong today, but that's how I feel at the moment. There's too much attention on certain celebrities. Yes, too much attention. Oh, poor her. Oh, poor her. No. They can talk. They had the ability to talk. But yet they didn't. They're hiding under rocks. They've been hiding under the bed for 20 plus years. But now we're talking. Oh, now they're heroes. They're not heroes. They've been separated from the individual, the predator, for years. They could have said something to somebody and gotten this person in trouble a long time ago. But they chose to stay quiet. There's a reason. That reason we will never know because not you or I have been there. Was it consensual? Was it not? Who knows? Because they're able-minded to know consent from non-consent. So that's the end of my video, you guys. I hope you understand why my frustration is what it is. I pray for those who can't speak, and I'm always, again, be empathetic, be understanding. Please, 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 once again, be an advocate for your child because your child matters. So until the next video, God bless. Until the next one. See you later.